I almost missed my sister's wedding. Not because of weather, not because of delays, but because of a carry-on bag I'd used 50 times before. Standing at the gate in Dallas, watching my flight board without me, while a gate agent explained that my bag, the same bag that flew to Tokyo, London, and Sydney, was suddenly non-compliant. The fee to check it? $95. The time to run back through security and check it properly? 35 minutes I didn't have. I made that flight by literally 30 seconds after throwing half my belongings in a trash can and sprinting to the gate. But here's what terrified me. I had no idea I was breaking any rules. The regulations changed, the enforcement changed, and nobody told me until it was too late. That moment cost me $95, years off my life from stress, and taught me something crucial. In 2026, the airport is no longer a place where good intentions and common sense keep you safe. It's a minefield of new rules designed to catch you off guard, and they're being enforced by machines that don't negotiate. After that disaster, I spent 3 weeks researching every change coming in 2026. I interviewed gate agents, talked to TSA officers, read airline policy documents, and tested every theory at airports across the country. What I discovered will either save your next trip or ruin it, depending on whether you're reading this before you pack. Here are the 9 rules that will decide whether you breeze through security or become the person everyone glares at while you repack your entire life at the gate. Rule 1, your bag is probably too big, even if it looks fine. Let me be blunt, if you bought your carry-on before 2024, there's a 60% chance it's now too big for 2026 rules. The new standard is 22 by 14 by 9 inches, but here's the trap nobody warns you about. They now measure everything. The wheels, the handle, those side pockets you barely use, it all counts. I watched a woman in Phoenix argue with a gate agent for 10 minutes because her bag looked the same size as everyone else's. The digital scanner didn't care. It measured 23.5 inches with the wheels, and that half-inch cost her $75. I tested this myself. My trusted carry-on, a mid-range Samsonite I'd used for 5 years, measured exactly 22 inches without wheels. With wheels, 23.8 inches. Failed. What actually happens when you fail, they don't pull you aside for a gentle conversation. You place your bag in a blue metal frame at the gate that looks like a doorway. If any part of your bag touches the sides or top, a red light flashes and a buzzer sounds. Everyone in line sees it. Everyone knows you messed up. The gate agent scans your boarding pass and the $75 to $95 fee hits your credit card before you can argue. How to protect yourself right now. Get a tape measure. Not the fabric kind, a rigid metal one. Lay your bag on its back wheels and measure from the bottom wheel to the very top of the collapsed handle. That's your real height. If it's over 22 inches, your bag doesn't fly in 2026. I replaced my bag with a Travel Pro Max Light 5. Measures 21 by 13.5 by 8 inches with everything included. Cost me $180, but it's already saved me $75 on 3 separate flights where I watched other passengers fail the scanner test. Rule 2, they're weighing your carry-on now and you won't see it coming. I learned about weight limits the hard way in Denver. I checked in at a kiosk, printed my boarding pass, feeling efficient. Then a notification popped up. Carry-on exceeds weight limit. $50 fee applied. I looked around confused. When did anyone weigh my bag? The platform I was standing on. The entire kiosk floor is a scale. Most airlines now cap carry-ons at 15 to 22 pounds depending on the route. Sounds reasonable until you pack a laptop, 5 pounds. Charger, 1.5 pounds. Toiletries, 3 pounds. A book, 1.5 pounds. And actual clothes. You're at the limit before you've packed enough underwear for your trip. The 3 places they weigh your bag. Self-check-in kiosks, the floor itself. Bag drop counters, they ask you to place your carry-on here for a moment. Gate-side stations. Random checks, usually in boarding groups 4 to 5. I saw a man in Chicago get caught at gate-side weighing. His bag was 27 pounds. The agent made him open it right there in front of 80 people waiting to board and remove items until he hit 22 pounds. He left behind a pair of shoes, a jacket, and a book. Just abandoned them in a pile. The flight left without him while he tried to figure out what to do. My exact strategy that works. I bought a digital luggage scale on Amazon for $12. Before I even pack, I weigh my empty bag. My current carry-on weighs 6.2 pounds empty, leaving me 15.8 pounds of packing space for a 22-pound limit. I weigh after packing, and if I'm within 2 pounds of the limit, I wear my heaviest items on travel day. Boots instead of sneakers, jacket instead of packing it, jeans instead of lighter pants. This single strategy has saved me fees on every flight since November. Rule 3. Your personal item just got a lot smaller. Everyone brings a personal item, backpack, laptop bag, purse, without thinking twice. In 2026, that assumption will cost you that the new limit is 18 by 14 by 8 inches, and they're enforcing it with a vengeance. I watched this play out in Atlanta. A guy had a normal-sized backpack, the kind you'd take to a coffee shop. Gate agent asked him to put it in the personal item sizer. It didn't fit. She counted it as his carry-on, which meant his rolling bag had to be checked. Fee, $85. He argued that he'd flown with that same backpack last month. She said, "The rules changed on January 1st. Would you like to pay the fee or miss your flight?" Why this rule exists: airlines noticed passengers were bringing 2 carry-ons and calling one a personal item. They're right, we were. Now they're cracking down because they realize they could charge for it. What fits and what doesn't? Standard laptop backpacks? Too big. Most purses over 14 inches long? Too big. Briefcases designed to hold a 15-inch laptop? Too big. What actually works? Under-seat specific bags. I switched to an eBags Professional Slim laptop backpack. Measures 17.5 by 13 by 8 inches. Fits perfectly. Holds my laptop, tablet, chargers, and essential documents. Cost me $65, saved me from being that guy arguing at the gate. Rule 4, dead electronics don't fly, and they're checking. This rule humiliated me in San Francisco, and I don't want it to happen to you. I was rushing through security, threw my laptop in the bin, and kept moving. TSA agent pulled me aside. "Power on your laptop, please." I pressed the button. Nothing. Battery was completely dead. I'd forgotten to charge it the night before. The agent explained I had 3 options: abandon the laptop, miss my flight to charge it, or ship it separately. There was no 4th option where common sense prevails, and they trust me that it's just a dead battery. Those aren't the rules anymore. I ended up buying a $30 charging cable at an airport electronics store and sitting at a charging station for 25 minutes, missing my original flight and catching one 3 hours later. Cost me $200 in change fees plus the $30 cable. Why they're doing this? They can't see inside a dead device. Security treats it as suspicious because people have hidden prohibited items inside gutted electronics. It sounds paranoid until you learn it's actually happened multiple times. What actually gets checked? Laptops, tablets, phones, e-readers, cameras, portable speakers, anything with a screen or rechargeable battery. If it has a power button, they can ask you to turn it on. The only defense that works: charge everything to 100% the night before you fly. Set multiple alarms. Create a pre-flight charging ritual. My system: the night before any flight, I plug in every electronic device in the same spot. Laptop, tablet, phone, power bank, earbuds, camera. I don't pack anything until I've verified it turns on. This takes 5 minutes and has saved me from repeating that San Francisco nightmare 4 times since then. Rule 5, power banks are a minefield, and the math is confusing. I almost had an $80 power bank confiscated in Miami because I didn't understand watt hours. Neither do most travelers, and TSA knows it. The rule is simple. Under 100 watt hours is fine. 100 to 160 watt hours needs airline approval. Over 160 watt hours is banned. But most power banks don't list watt hours. They list milliamp hours, milliamps. And converting between them requires math most of us haven't done since high school. A TSA officer pulled my power bank out at security. "What's the watt hour rating?" I stared at him blankly. He said, "If you can't tell me, I can't let it through." I frantically Googled the calculation while people in line behind me got increasingly annoyed. The actual formula? Watt hours equals milliamps hours times voltage, divided by 1,000. My 30,000 milliampere hour power bank at 3.7 volts equals 111 watt hours. That's in the requires approval zone, and I didn't have approval. The officer gave me two options: abandon it or go back out of security, find the airline desk, get written approval, and come back through security. My flight boarded in 45 minutes. I abandoned an $80 power bank. How to never repeat my mistake. Before you buy any power bank, calculate its watt hours. Most power banks are 3.7 volts. A 20,000 milliampere hour bank at 3.7 volts equals 74 watt hours, safe. A 27,000 milliampere hour bank equals 99.9 watt hours, technically safe, but cutting it close. Anything 30,000 milliampere hours or higher at 3.7 volts puts you over 100 watt hours. I now carry an Anchor Power Core 20,000 milliampere hours, 74 watt hours, and I took a photo of the specifications label. When TSA asks, I show them the photo with the calculation already done. Zero hassle. Rule 6. Smart luggage will be rejected unless you can prove the battery comes out. My friend bought a $400 away smart suitcase with built-in charging in 2023. In January 2026, she stood at JFK watching a gate agent tell her it couldn't board the plane. The battery wasn't removable, which made the entire suitcase non-compliant. She had two choices: abandon a $400 suitcase or check it empty and carry her clothes in her arms. She ended up buying a cheap duffel bag at an airport store for $85, transferring everything and abandoning the away suitcase. Total loss, $485. The rule is technically about safety. Lithium batteries can catch fire in cargo holds, but here's what makes it cruel. Thousands of people bought these smart suitcases specifically for travel, and now they're worthless for flying. What qualifies as removable? The battery must come out without tools in under 30 seconds. If you need a screwdriver, it doesn't count. If the battery is wired permanently into the suitcase electronics, it doesn't count. The gate agent will make you demonstrate the battery removal, and if you can't do it quickly, the bag doesn't fly. The only safe approach: don't buy smart luggage. The charging ports and GPS tracking aren't worth the risk of rejection. If you already own smart luggage, test the battery removal at home before every trip. Time yourself. If it takes longer than 20 seconds or feels difficult, don't risk bringing it to the airport. Rule 7. Liquid rules are different at every airport, and nobody warns you. Some airports allow full-size liquids now because they have new CT scanners. Others still enforce the 3-1-1 rule. You won't know which type you're flying through until you're there. I flew out of Dallas, allows full liquids, with a full-size bottle of shampoo in my carry-on. No problem. Connected through Charlotte, still uses old scanners. They confiscated my shampoo, a $24 hair product, and a $32 face moisturizer. Total loss, $68 worth of toiletries I'd specifically brought to avoid checking a bag. The pattern that will get you: you depart from a modernized airport to you assume you're fine, to you connect through an older airport to you lose everything. The only strategy that works. Pack like 311 still exists everywhere because at most airports it does. Even if your departure airport has new scanners, your connection might not. I now pack only travel-size bottles. Or better yet, I switched to solid alternatives. Shampoo bars, solid deodorant, toothpaste tablets. None of these count as liquids regardless of what scanner the airport uses. This has saved me from confiscation on 6 flights since December. Rule 8. Priority boarding. Doesn't guarantee overhead bin space, but they charge like it does. Airlines charge $30 to $60 for priority boarding, and they advertise it with language like guaranteed overhead bin access or secure your space. I paid for this on a United flight from Denver to Newark. Boarded in Group 2, considered priority. Every single bin above my seat was full. I asked a flight attendant where to put my bag. She said, "We'll have to gate check it." I showed her my priority boarding receipt. She shrugged. Priority boarding means you board early. It doesn't mean there's space. They gate checked my bag. I was furious but had no recourse. Why this happens? Airlines oversell priority boarding. They sell it to 60 to 70% of passengers, but there's only bin space for about 50%. They're literally selling a service they can't deliver, betting that some priority passengers won't bring full-size carry-ons. What actually works? Board the instant your group is called. Not 5 minutes later, not after you grab coffee, immediately. Every second counts. Even with priority boarding, being last in your group means you're competing with everyone who boarded before you. Rule 9. Gate check fees that didn't exist 6 months ago. This is the newest trap, and it's pure revenue extraction. When bins fill up, airlines used to gate check bags for free. It was understood as their problem. They oversold the flight. They deal with the consequences. In 2026, multiple airlines now charge $35 to $50 to gate check your carry-on when bins are full. You did nothing wrong, your bag is compliant, you boarded when called, but you're in the back of the plane, bins are full, and now you're paying $50 because they sold too many tickets. A gate agent told me off the record. We hate charging this fee. Passengers get angry and we don't blame them. But it's corporate policy now. If bins are full and you can't find space, we have to charge for gate checking. The only reliable protection? Check your carry-on for free at the ticket counter before security and only carry a personal item through the airport. You lose nothing. Checked bags go to the same place as gate-checked bags, but you avoid the fee and the stress. I started doing this on every flight, and my airport experience improved dramatically. What this all means for your next flight. These 9 rules aren't about safety or efficiency. They're about catching unprepared travelers and extracting fees. Every rule is designed to be slightly confusing, slightly difficult to verify, and enforced at the moment when you have the least ability to push back. But you're prepared now. You know the traps, you know the measurements, you know the strategies. Measure your bag with wheels and handle, weigh it packed, charge your electronics, calculate your power bank watt hours. Pack for 311 everywhere. Board immediately when called. The difference between a smooth airport experience and a nightmare is just preparation. Don't be the person arguing at the gate while everyone watches. Be the person who glides through security, boards efficiently, and sits down relieved while everyone else panics. Your next flight is either going to validate everything you just learned, or it's going to cost you hundreds in fees and hours of stress. Choose wisely.